Hey First Gear fam, this is Adrian here at First Gear shooting episode 1 of our 6-part racing series. In today's video, I'm gonna go over track days, racing, the difference between the two, and how to set up your pit area for both. Let's start with track days. A track day is an event that is held at a racetrack or closed off parking lot. There is no racing at a track day, and it doesn't matter whether you're riding this, or this. A track day simply allows the general public an opportunity to ride their motorcycle, road legal or not, in a controlled environment without the restrictions that you would normally find on the road, such as speed limits, intersections, pedestrians, just to name a few. At a racetrack, everyone is traveling in the same direction, and after a few laps, you have a good idea of where you're going and can start to plan for the corners. Track days have rules, which you'll learn about at the mandatory riders meeting held every morning before the track is considered open. During this meeting, they'll talk about things like the flags and what they mean, entering and exiting the track, first aid procedures in case somebody crashes or gets hurt, or any specific rules that might apply to the separate classes that they have available to you. Speaking of classes, let's talk about that next. Track days will have different classes available to you when you sign up. Something usually like slow, medium, or fast, maybe beginner, intermediate, advanced, or they might even be called something else entirely different. But the structure is all the same. Somebody that's new to track days would want to enter probably the slow group. If you've done track days before and you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, the intermediate or medium group is usually recommended. And for somebody that goes to track days a lot or racers looking for a little extra track time, the fast group is generally where they'll go. Each group will get track time in intervals, and you'll get several sessions on the track during the day. You are free to choose which group you'd like to enter, but if it's your first time, entering a slow group is highly recommended. Every bike and rider have to go through a technical inspection before being allowed on the track. An inspector will check your riding gear to make sure it meets their requirements, and your motorcycle to make sure that the controls are in proper working order, there's no loose hardware, and that your motorcycle isn't leaking any fluids, and that it's properly taped. Let's talk about that. For safety reasons, you must put tape over any glass as well as your lights and speedo, like I've done on this bike here. This is to limit distractions for you and the other riders, and to keep glass off the track in case of a crash. You can take the mirrors off instead of taping them if you choose. On this bike, you simply remove this bolt and the mirror slides right off. And as far as bike preparation goes, that's about it. When it comes to riding gear, most track days will require a full-faced helmet with a DOT rating at the very least. Full body coverage is always a must. Some track days will require full leather and some won't, so it's best to go online and find exactly what you need for the specific event you are attending. Boots that cover your ankles and gauntlet-style gloves might also be required. All right, now let's talk about some nice to haves. You're gonna find that piloting your machine around a circuit in an elevated manner takes energy. You're likely to be tired at the end of the day, and having to ride your motorcycle home can be a daunting task. So, if you have the means to transport your bike to and from the track another way, this would be ideal. Doing so will also afford you the opportunity to set up a pit area. You can now bring luxuries with you like chairs to sit in, maybe a pop-up tent for some shade, some tools in case you need them, and a cooler for some food and beverages, but no alcohol is allowed on the track. If track days are something that you end up doing frequently, you'll learn what kind of things you need to make your life more comfortable while you're there. You'll find that people are generally pretty friendly if you have questions or need help. There might also be a pro who's willing to offer lessons, or someone who helps with bike setup like suspension adjustment or tire pressures, but this would all come with an added cost. All the things I've mentioned are just a general overview of what track days are. The prices can vary depending on the track and who is putting them on, so it's best to go onto their website and the prices will be displayed when you're booking. Now let's talk about racing. Racing is a totally different thing. Racing is putting your skills against other riders' skills in competition. To do that, you need a dedicated racing machine. Here we have First Gear's Race Ready TTR 125. You might be thinking, that's a dirt bike, and you're not wrong. We put some street tires on it, stiffened up the suspension a little bit, and prepped it to meet the safety requirements for the track. When it comes to road racing, you'll see everything from scooters to sport bikes, dirt bikes or motard-style bikes, and even big Harley baggers. To race, you first have to find an organization that fits your preferences and obtain a racing license and racing number. We've chosen the PCMRC, which holds 8 out of 10 races at Greg Moore Raceway in Chilliwack and 2 races at Caribou Raceway in Quesnel, BC. The PCMRC is a mini bike racing club that races at outdoor kart tracks and has a 250cc maximum. There are many different classes that you can enter. These classes can be based on lap time, age, with 7 years old being the youngest, type of bike, stock or modified, and even gender. That's right, they even have a ladies only class. Like track days, every race starts with a mandatory riders meeting covering a lot of the same things I mentioned before, as well as some race specific details. Your bike and riding gear have to go through a technical inspection, and you have to fix a transponder on your motorcycle to score your lap times and position results. The PCMRC provides transponders for its riders, or you can purchase your own. Setting up your pit area will be your own personal preference, but like track days, the goal is to be as comfortable as possible and have the tools, parts, and accessories you need to get the job done. You'll have to transport your motorcycle to the track. All racing motorcycles are no longer street legal. They've had their lights, mirrors, kickstand, and any other unnecessary parts removed. They are purely competition, purpose-built machines. Number plates with your racing number will need to be attached. Certain bolts and hardware will need to be drilled and wired for safety. Antifreeze is not allowed in cooling systems. This is an air-cooled bike, so we don't need to worry about that. Metal parts that are likely to touch the ground in a crash will have to be fixed with plastic sliders. And there needs to be an overflow catch can to prevent fuel from ending up on the track in case of a crash. Converting a motorcycle into a race bike can be a lot of work. If this is a concern to you, buying a motorcycle that's already prepped for racing can be an option, and a good one. Each organization will have a rule book you can download that will give you a complete breakdown on machine, gear, and class regulations for you to meet. A race day consists of a few morning warm-up laps, a qualifying session for each class you've entered to determine your grid position, and then after that, you're racing for checkered flags. Over the next 5 episodes, we're going to be at the track documenting a full racing season. It's our goal to show you that anyone can do this, that developing your riding skills should be a continuous pursuit, and that there's proper, safer environments to do it in. If you want to check out the action, hit the subscribe, hit the notification, follow us on the socials, or come and check us out at the track. You can cheer us on in person. You can find the racing schedule on the PCMRC website. Thanks for watching, and the next episode, we'll see you at the track.